Hey guys, it's Kat, and today we're going to do a makeup transformation of a character with a hook of Captain Hook himself from Disney's Peter Pan. From the original movie, Captain Hook was afraid of the Tic-Tock crocodile from Neverland, where Hook tried to defeat Pan. And today is going to be a twisted two-parter makeup where I turn into Captain Hook himself, and then I'm going to have it to where the Tic-Tock crocodile tries to eat him, just like in the movie Peter Pan, where he is running away from this crocodile because he is terrified of him. The Tic-Tock crocodile has an actual clock in his stomach, that's why he has the name, it has this ticking sound, and Hook could always hear him when he's coming his way. So I can't wait to do this makeup, and let's get started with the transformation. First of all, as always, I'm going to put a wig on later, so we are putting a wig cap on our head, and then I am just going to clean my face with some makeup remover, just to make sure I have all the dirt and oil off my face, since we are going to be putting on prosthetics. This first prosthetic I'm going to use is a huge hooked nose. So fitting for Hook. Now I'm going to put some Prosade on my actual nose and on the prosthetic itself. This is a foam latex prosthetic. If you don't want to do prosthetics for this makeup and you're doing it at home, you could totally skip all the prosthetic makeups because it is complicated and difficult sometimes. And you want to make sure that your edges are smoothed down. Now, once you think you have the prosthetic on your nose, we are going to get some liquid latex with a red stipple sponge to stipple on the edges of our prosthetic to our face. This is going to give it the look as if it's not just a piece of latex slapped onto our face or something random glued to our face. That's why we want to get a red stipple sponge, because it has the perfect texture to replicate skin if you do it correctly and stipple the edges smoothly. And we are also going to stipple on the actual prosthetic, not just the edges, some Prosade. This is going to make it so that our paint that we put on the prosthetic later is going to adhere to it better and stick. And once you have that nose glued onto your face, we are going to get a chin. Yes, Hook has a giant chin. I always thought he had a beard, but he actually has just a giant chin with some stipple on it. So I got a foam latex appliance piece that looks like a huge chin, and I'm going to do the same steps as I did with the nose. Put some Prosade on my actual chin and on the inside of the appliance as well, and make sure that sticks onto your face. You really want to make sure it's smooth down on the edges, on the front part of your face. The bottom of your chin, if it's a little rough, you could actually patch that up with liquid latex, Prosade, or some Cabasol later. As you can see, we're doing the same steps again with a stippled edge of liquid latex with the red stipple sponge, and then once that is completely all stippled on the edges, we are going to get some Prosade, stipple all over the appliance, making a whole layer all over it, so that we could have some paint adhere to it and stick on it very well later. Once you have both those appliances on your face, you might want to get a hairdryer to make sure that they are completely dry, because once it's completely dry, we're going to get some reddish mauve Pax paint. Pax paint is the perfect paint for these types of prosthetics that are foam latex because they have Prosade in the paint. And the reason why we're using red and not just flesh tone this time is because these two prosthetics are two different shades of flesh tone, and I want them to both be a similar tone, and this redness is going to give some livelihood underneath our skin tone paint, like there's real blood flow under it. It's going to give it dimension and depth so that you can see the actual shape of the chin. It just doesn't look like a huge blob. And then we're going to completely dry that paint before getting our flesh tone Pax paint. What's wonderful about these paints is that they don't break down the prosthetics, and they are very opaque. You want to get a disposable makeup sponge, as you see that I've been using throughout this video, because this paint can ruin your brushes. I am using a brush on the smaller edges below my nostrils with this paint, but this is a brush that I'm going to throw away later anyways. And I'm also going to put more of that flesh tone paint onto my chin. As you can see, I'm putting this only on the prosthetic, just going a little bit over the edge, because we're going to put a different type of makeup on my actual skin. You don't want to cover your whole actual skin with this type of paint because it has Prosade in it, and that would hurt on the removal process. Once that is all covered in paint, we're going to dry it and Now it's time to get some orange tone concealer for under my eyes. This is totally optional, but we're gonna move on to our beauty makeup portion of this look. And I have some dark circles under my eyes, so I'm trying to disguise that with this and get some green corrector concealer on the redness on my face. Blend that out with the beauty sponge before getting our foundation color. This is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation. The reason why I like this foundation is not only is it medium to full coverage, but this specific foundation color matches this PAX paint perfectly. I'll make sure to list both colors down below in the description box along with all the other products that I use in this video. You could do areas around the prosthetic more full coverage, not completely on it, but around the edges so that it doesn't look sheer and then a full coverage makeup on our fake nose. But you want to make sure you put this foundation on all the areas around the prosthetics and my ears and my neck, making sure it blends nicely into the skin. As you can see, we left the eye sockets bare because now it is time to get some concealer. I'm getting a full coverage concealer to conceal my under eyes and around the actual sockets of my eyes. I really like to do foundation first but leave my sockets of my eyes bare to put concealer there because if I put too many layers of makeup on my under eyes, it will cake up and get really gross. And I'm doing each eye at a time with the concealer first and then the finishing powder, translucent powder under my eye because this concealer dries super duper quick, so I want to make sure it blends nicely before it dries on my eye. The translucent powder is just going to set it so that it doesn't crease up too much. With the Tiny Baby Beauty Blender, I know these are pricey and they're really small and dainty, but they really do help with those creases. Now we're gonna powder down our whole entire face and all the prosthetics just everywhere, making sure we have this layer of powder to buff in other colors on top. I'm also getting some natural tone cream blush and we are blending that out with the beauty sponge, just to give Hook some natural cheek flesh tone. And I'm putting a little bit on my nose as well. Now it is time to get some cream paint. I'm mixing 3 colors here. These are Ben Nye products. I'm using their gray, their dark burgundy, and black cream paint, mixing equal parts of those 3 colors. And we're going to put some of that on the top eyelid to give it some greasy smokiness just like most pirates do. Kind of reminds me of Captain Jack Sparrow, but this is Captain Hook. Before getting a black stipple sponge with the same color cream paint that we made and stippling on the facial hair of Captain Hook. He has this stipple kind of like rough scruff growing like where his beard would be. On his giant chin, I think this scruff with this giant chin is what makes people think that Captain Hook may have had a beard, but if you look at his pictures, he totally doesn't. He just has this manly scruff that reminds me of Gaston. I don't know why, his chin shape just reminds me of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. And I'm putting some of that scruff on my neck as well to make it look more natural like a real human man. Getting a black eyeliner pencil and coloring in my waterline before getting a contour powder and contouring the sides of my cheeks, my forehead, bringing that down on my neck and ears as well. And then we're gonna get my favorite angled paintbrush for eyebrows. With a black cream paint, I am painting on Hook's giant fluffy eyebrows. You may want to look at reference pictures of Captain Hook for this part of the makeup because his eyebrows, they look like really thick, weird, fluffy caterpillars. And you don't want them to be super huge to where they go up on his forehead. You don't want them really skinny either. They kind of remind me of Jafar's eyebrows, if you saw that video I did of Jafar from Aladdin. But once you have those eyebrows painted on, I'm going to get some matte black eyeshadow and shade in my under eye to make it more smoky. And I'm going to get a taupe cream paint with a thin brush to paint in Captain Hook's laugh lines, creases, wrinkles all over his eyes and on parts of his face where he would frown and have wrinkle marks and lines on his forehead so that he looks like he's angry whenever he's shouting at Pan and other things and people he hates in Neverland. We're going to blend that out with the beauty sponge just to make it look like actual skin and not just lines painted on my face. Now I'm just getting some mascara because some of the makeup from my foundation and everything could make my eyelashes look chalky. Now it is time to get my wig. Captain Hook has gorgeous long black hair. I'm honestly very envious of it. It reminds me of Kim K's hair. And then I'm getting a fluffy white, very extravagant silk shirt. because Captain Hook has the fanciest, best clothes. Honestly, out of all the characters from Neverland, I would dress up like him. And I put like a silk bow to match the shirt. The shirt is vintage, and I use it for like anything I can. I've used it in my White Rabbit makeup from Alice in Wonderland years ago on this channel. And I'm going to powder down my eyebrows before I forget so that they don't look shiny. And then I'm getting my Captain Hook jacket. This jacket is actually from a Headless Horseman costume that I got at a Halloween store that had an altar. And I'm getting Captain Hook's hat. And now it is time to glue on his mustache. I couldn't make facial hair like I usually do from scratch to look like real hair, so I made some out of paper because Captain Hook's mustache is so long that I couldn't make it out of fake hair without it falling apart on me. So I just got some cardstock that is black and just cut it into this mustache shape and pasted it on my face. And then Captain Hook wouldn't be himself without his hook. Also, before I forget, I'm gonna paint on some chest hair because, you know, my shirt and lower half looks too feminine. And once you're done with that, we're completely done with our Captain Hook makeup transformation from Disney's Peter Pan. This was so much fun to make. It was so challenging. I've never had so much fun gluing fake nose and a chin to my face. Honestly, for real, if I could have Captain Hook's outfit, I would. I feel like Captain Hook is one of the worst bullies in the Disney villain series only because he wants everyone to fear him and wants control, but he is scared of a crocodile that most people aren't scared of, it seems, in the movie. He's a coward, but he wants to act tough. But stick around for the second part of this transformation where the Tic-Tock crocodile will get him. First of all, to have our Tic-Tock crocodile attack Captain Hook, we are gonna take off our hat and the hook and his jacket. Pull up our sleeves because we're gonna do a little bit of a trick of the eye with our arms and body paint on the Tic-Tock crocodile onto my arm. I made this cardstock piece of the crocodile's eyes and I'm just gonna glue it on with some Pros-Aide onto my forearm. This sounds really tricky and difficult because it is already, and we're just starting out, but I'm gonna have my forearms be the open mouth of the crocodile. First, by using some green aqua paint. I'm using Wolfe Brothers because they are super opaque, even though they have some wax-based pigments in them. I'm getting the darker green of the colors and painting that on the upper part of my forearm. You really want to look at pictures of the Tic-Tock crocodile to do this makeup on your arm. And if you're ambidextrous, where you use both your left and your right hand, it helps because this makeup gets super difficult. Because right now I'm painting with my left hand and I'm right-handed. But this green paint is gonna go onto your elbow and onto your top of your palms and knuckles. And some of your fingers as well. And then once you think you have it on enough of your fingers and knuckles and your forearm, we're gonna switch over to a red aqua paint and put that layer just like a thin inner mouth part of the crocodile. And I'm gonna put some purple aqua paint on top of that red as well. We're just doing the upper part of the crocodile's mouth and face right now as it's opening up, and some more green paint on the tips of my fingers. Now for the other forearm, the other part of the crocodile's mouth, as you can see, I'm using a lighter green aqua paint just so that looks like the reflection of the bottom of the belly of his mouth and jaw, just like real crocodiles. They're a little bit lighter on the bottom. And as you can see, I'm getting pink aqua paint for his tongue. And then I'm getting more red aqua paint that looks like blood here for some reason. It was a little too runny, so I tried to fix that. And put some purple aqua paint on top of it, just like the other side, because his inner mouth is like this purpley red color. Getting that dark green aqua paint again and putting that on the outer part of my forearm and the top of my palm and knuckles. As weird as this sounds, I also painted the inner part of my palm, that purpley red color, which starts to get really messy, so you want to dry it with a hairdryer before painting the other inside of the palm that color as well, because this is going to be the inside of the crocodile's mouth. And once you have both palms completely dry and painted, we're going to get some translucent powder and powder down both arms. All the way down the arms and in the palms as well. And of course we can't forget the crocodile's teeth. All crocodiles have teeth. We're getting some white cream paint with a thin, tiny brush and painting his teeth. They are very triangular and they remind me of dinosaur teeth. You really want to look at the pictures of the Tic-Tock crocodile to paint these teeth onto your arms, because I'm painting some on the tip of my fingertips, and they are in rows and bundles of 2s and 3s sometimes, and sometimes 1. It all depends on what area of his mouth it's on, which tooth. Once the white cream paint is on the correct areas, we're going to dust it with some translucent powder and then get some black eyeliner and outline the teeth marks in certain areas of the mouth to make it look more defined and cartoonish. This is going to make the crocodile's head overall that we've been painting stand out more and look like the actual movie. As you can see, I am also doing some dash marks on the top portion of the crocodile's head, just like in the movie, and his nostrils. We can't forget those. I'm putting some black eyeliner on certain parts of my knuckles to make the crocodile's nostrils. Doing some more details on the other arm. And we can't forget to put on our hats and our captain's jacket. And with that, we are completely done with this insane makeup transformation of Captain Hook being attacked by the Tic-Tock crocodile from Disney's Peter Pan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was one of the most insane ideas I've had that was kind of difficult. We have a male transformation, prosthetics, facial hair painting, body painting. It was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting this channel and my crazy ideas. But now it is time to transform back into my female form that isn't Captain Hook. You want to be very careful when you're removing these prosthetics, especially if you put them on with Prozaid, because it can be difficult to take off. I used a lot of isopropyl myricate. You need to have the chemical break down all of the products you used before ripping them off your face, because you could cause some skin major irritation and maybe some damage. And if you guys do this makeup or any makeup from my YouTube channel, please post on Instagram and tag me #katsketch. I hope you guys have been liking this Disney series of Peter Pan. I've been enjoying it myself. Leave a comment down below on what other series you would love to see me do makeups of here on my YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate your suggestions. Also, thank you to Veronica and her 2 beautiful daughters who are 7 and 8 years old, who gave me the inspiration for this video, who emailed me about doing a makeup transformation of the Tic-Tock crocodile from Peter Pan because it's her girl's favorite character. And I appreciate them watching, and all of you guys watching. I wish I could give you all hugs and for sticking around supporting me as always. But now it is time for me to go take a shower, and I love you all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!